Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo 7. I'm back with highlights from the Nations race at Fuji in the Mazda Group 4 car. So this race was actually pretty stacked for a Nations combination. You're going to see this was the final slot in top split and we had a lot of very quick drivers in this lobby. It was pretty stacked all the way through the field still. I think 420 points were still available at the last race of the day for a race like this as well. So yeah, Gran Turismo is really picking up in how competitive it is at the moment. We didn't manage to get a very good lap time in at all down in P12, didn't hook it up. I think it might have been our worst qualifying of the whole day throughout all three slots, but yeah, started down in P12, but a very strong lobby in this race. So we're going to stand in start in this race, 5 to the rear brake bias, TC on 1 for the start, and just try and get away nice and clean because obviously full damage is on and we don't want to pick up any damage straight away, so just be a little bit cautious at the start. You see, I'm going to stay to the inside here because we started on the inside, don't really want to go to the outside and give up a position on the inside, so brake fairly early here, don't take any risks. You can see some people going around the outside there, down to second gear, back up to third gear, try and get a good exit, and we've managed to get away reasonably safe there. Not too much going on in the field, pretty clean start. Antomix in front of us having a little look up the inside of Somi, but not able to get that move done. But you can see very competitive lobby. Now one thing I was suffering with this race was tyre wear, but I can tell you now there was people suffering a lot worse than me after I watched the replay and saw some of the tyre levels that some people were suffering with. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, it does highlight that some people obviously suffering with tyre wear more than others. Some people were doing an amazing job in this race with tyre wears. We're going to try and go up the inside there. We saw they got a bad exit. The only problem is on this outside we're going to have to take the longer route around the outside, and also you can see now that Somi has got that slipstream, so we're not going to be able to go for a move here. So just brake nice and early. We don't want to get into any contact in this chicane. It's very easy to pick up damage here, so again, taking it nice and safe. Avi behind us there went for a little look up the inside, but not really able to make that. And now Somi's battling with Antomix. Good racing at the moment though, nice clean racing. And yeah, this really does highlight at the moment that Gran Turismo really is picking up in terms of how competitive it is. If you think this is just an exhibition season with a combination that was reasonable, I wouldn't say it's one of the best ever combinations we've ever had. It did have some rain at the end of the race that was scripted in that you're going to see shortly. Now, there was some chaos in previous races. We'll see what happens in this one, but yeah, it wasn't the most enticing combination in terms of, you know, bringing people out to play it, but still a lot of very quick drivers. We had Mikhail Zell, TRL Lightning racing in split 2 in one of the early races. It was competitive throughout the whole day, so yeah, I can only imagine how competitive this game is going to get towards the end of the year as we go through a look up the inside here. Somi kind of thinks that I'm going to go for a send, misses his braking, and we just brake early, take it up the inside and kind of just do a bit of a dummy with that move and take that P11. But yeah, I do think that in the official season this year, Gran Turismo is really going to be on another level of how competitive it's going to be. I think it's going to be on a different level to any game on console in terms of like the level of driving that you're going to see. It's going to be crazy hard. It's going to be extremely difficult to pick up points. I think you're going to see a lot of people deliberately putting themselves in lower lobbies just to get points, because in the top 2 to 3 slots, I think it's going to be, even you could have a situation you've got 100k drivers, most of the drivers that are in slot 2 in split 2. It's going to be crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of 100k drivers and a lot of some luck involved with whether you qualify with points and stuff, and maybe some people might risk going into split 2 to try and get a slightly easier option at getting a good result. It's going to be very interesting, I can tell you that now. But there, in this race, we're now in P11. We've got Antomix in front of us. And you can see there, we're coming to the end of lap 2. We're just trying to stay with him. Not a very good corner there. Lost a little bit of time. And the problem with this race was, if you lose the slipstream, you're constantly fighting to get back in it. And one thing you don't really want to do is take these really aggressive lines and get on the throttle super early, because this is a front wheel drive car. You know, how aggressive you are on that throttle was killing the front tyres. Also, you know, the steering inputs being too aggressive on the steering and little things like that, how aggressive you're braking, they were all affecting the tyre wear. Now we're skipping to lap 4. You can see we've managed to stay in that slipstream. We're around about half a second behind Antomix there, and we're still in P11, so not really made much progress. You can see we've actually gained half a second in the last few laps on the leader at this stage of the race. The leader was about 4.6 after lap 1 or 2. We're now 4.2, 4.1 behind them, so we're driving reasonably well. We're doing okay laps. You can see 46.5, 46.4, pretty decent lap times at the moment. Antomix is starting to fall back a little bit from Mohammed there in P9, and yeah, he's dropping off a little bit at this stage, so we're gonna have to try and push up to Atomics, and we don't really want to fight him, because if we really start fighting, we risk losing that slipstream train that is so important to stay in. So as we're picking up this slip now on the straight, you're going to see I'm not going to do anything stupid. I could have gone for an overtake here pretty comfortably, but what I decided to do is just get that slipstream and give him a little nudge up the rear to just push him forward a little bit. So yeah, we're not going to battle him, we're just going to give him a little nudge there, push him forward, increase his speed, and not fight. It's really sensible to do stuff like that in a race like this, where you want to try and stay in that slipstream. There's a little bit of chaos gone off in front of us there, we could see. I think there was contact with some cars up in front of us, and it's possible that there's been some damage occurred up there. Not too sure if it actually, we'll see as we go through this corner if anyone's suffering with any damage or any penalties or anything, but no, it looks like most of them have got away with that. But Atomics pushing through there, we're following through. You can see on the replay camera again, Somi is right behind us, pushing us also. A very close field. If you think we're only 4 seconds off the lead, that means last place is only about 5.5 seconds off the lead. And that's what I'm talking about. This is the last slot of the day as well, when, you know, a lot of people have took their points and a lot of people have stopped racing. You know, split 2 drivers have took their points, you know, split 1 have took their points, and it's still this competitive all the way through. There's not that much difference going on in race pace at the moment. As Somi has a little look up the inside, we're going to break a bit deeper, go for a wider line, and we managed to get through there nice and cleanly. And yeah, we keep on to that P11. Now, unfortunately for Somi, it looks like he cut the corner a little bit too much on the apex and has picked up half a second penalty. So unfortunate for Somi there, but actually quite good for me, because that means I don't have to defend. And one thing I didn't really want to do was get too aggressive with the defensive driving. We wanted to just hold onto the slip and try and save tyres as much as possible. So onto the main straight now. We're actually going to be okay from Somi, because he's going to take that penalty, and we're going to just try and work with Atomics and just stay in that slipstream. So at this point, I wasn't aware he had a penalty. I saw it in the mirror, like, right, penalty, let's just focus on staying with Atomics now. You know, we're driving well at this stage of the race. We're still in the 46s. That wasn't the best lap, as we've got definite contact there in front of us. It looks like a 3-second penalty for Popcorn. So now this has definitely been a bit of a move that's caused some sort of damage maybe. And you can see there, Popcorn has received a 3-second penalty. So we're going to try and go around the outside of him, because his race is pretty much dead after that. If you get a 3-second penalty at Fuji, it's going to cost you about 5-6 seconds in the race. So pretty much race over for Popcorn. So we're going to have a little look up the inside here now and try and get this move done, and he's going to just give us a space there. Now onto the front as early as we can, and we just about get ahead, and Popcorn, I think, is actually going to apologise to someone that he's took out on this straight. You can see he's pressed pause. I think he's going to make an apology on the chat on the left there. So yeah, not too sure what happened, but he obviously missed his braking and went straight into Manu. So Manu's probably picked up a bit of damage, and Manu's in P8 there, so he's got a tiny bit of damage. I think when I looked on the replay, he only had wheel damage, so there was no other damage, none to the front or back. So it was just one wheel that was damaged, and it was his rear right wheel. So he probably wasn't going to lose that much pace, because if it would have been his front tyre, I think he would have lost more. But with the rear right, it's a front wheel drive car, he's not going to lose that much. So lucky for Manu there that it's not going to affect his pace massively. But you can see there, Atomics now getting right up behind him, and also Mohammed there with getting under pressure now from Manu, where he's obviously lost the position from that send, and we're actually falling back a bit there. So we're going to skip on now to lap 8, and we did actually manage to stay in that slipstream for a few more laps. And you can see starting to kick off a bit in front of us now. We've got Flame in front of us there, and that, I'm not sure what's just happened there, but there's a big issue, contact between the two cars. Flame, I don't think he deliberately, it was nothing deliberate, it just looked like one of them racing circumstances when two cars come together and the other car just got basically T-boned. So gains us a position there, and we're now up to P9. And you've got Atomics there having a look at the car in front also. So far going okay. We've gained a few positions in this race. Skip a little bit further on into the race, you can see now onto lap 10, and we're still in that slipstream to Flame. So we've not really lost anything. Atomics is still in front of him, and it's still very, very close at the front here. You can see we're about 4.9, 4.8 seconds behind the leader. So from lap 2 to lap 10, we've lost no time at all. However, some people are doing tyre saving, some people are doing a better job at their tyre saving also. So now coming into turn 2, you can see getting extremely close to P8 on the entry into the corner, and you can see in front of that we've got Atomics, who is extremely close to Mohammed. Now Mohammed, I don't know what he had done to his tyres, but he had about half. At this stage of the race, he had almost half of what I've got left on the front left, and Atomics had much better than me. My tyres were not particularly great, but we were about when I went through the field of tyres, we were about average in terms of our tyre wear. I think my problem is I find it hard to find pace when the fronts go, because I need a car that rotates. I need a really good front end on a car. So in these front wheel drive cars, when the front end goes, I really struggle to, you know, brake that little bit earlier and just get the car rotated. But yeah, Mohammed was really struggling with his tyre wear and was really starting to fade off now. You can see obviously Antomic's now starting to put him under a lot of pressure there in P7, trying to get himself up to P6. You can see Flame is going to have a little look up the inside of Antomic's, and there was a little bit of contact there. Luckily no damage incurred on either of their cars, but a little bit of contact. Got away with that one. I think he backed out of that. He saw a gap, backed out of it, so it was pretty fair. I don't think there was any wrongdoing there. And now we're going to get onto straight. Fast forward our way up this main straight as we go into the braking zone. Is anyone going to go for a move? Flame goes for a move, and Antomic's goes for a very late defense, and I think he actually realized he probably defended a little bit late on that and actually decided to just back out and give him that position. So credit to Antomic's. He could have probably just pushed him all the way over to the right, but I think he realized that he defended a little bit too late for the braking zone of just trying to cover it off. And yeah, that meant Flame was up into P7. So Antomic's now down to P8, we're in P9, and hopefully Mohammed in front of us is going to cause some issues with that tyre wear. You can see he's going to start dropping pace and obviously running out of front left completely as we go into the next left-hand corner. Just having a little look up here, you can see Antomic's battling with Flame, just trying to get on that power. Now the problem with all this battling that's been going on and people losing time, so you can see that Avi and Amenti behind us have actually started to pull forward now and starting to catch up. And now Amenti was doing an incredible job with tyre wear in this race, I have to say. You're going to see it a little bit further on. Tyre wear was amazing on his car. I actually checked on the replay. He had better than anyone in the whole race. Tyres that were just in incredible condition. I don't know how he was doing it, but they were better than Antomic's. They were better than P1s. They were better than P2s. They were considerably better as well. That's the thing. So great job on the tyre wear by Amenti. So as we go into these last sectors now, we've got Antomic's having a little look on the Flame. Flame is really putting Mohammed under pressure now. You can see he's having a look. Is he going to go for a move up the inside? You can see he's gone for that tighter line almost there, but it looks like he's backed out and maybe going to go for a move from the straight, as we're just trying to get into that slipstream with Antomic's and work our way and just stay with the pack at the moment. This is where, at this stage now, this is where my tyres were really starting to fade off. They were dropping off, losing grip, and I was just trying to brake that a little bit earlier and just trying to be very careful of getting on the throttle just to try and look after the tyres a little bit. You can see the front left is hurting here now. We've still got to go a fair bit longer in this race because we know the scripted weather happened around lap 15. Although, if you were quick enough, which at the moment in this race our pace has been quick enough, you could do 16 laps and you'd actually benefit from it. So at this stage, I'm hoping to get the 16 laps done. And you can see as we go through this long right hand corner, Flame is having a look on Mohammed there. Is he going to go up the inside? Looks like he's got that move done with much better tyres. Mohammed really starting to struggle now, and there's a little bit of contact up there. That's meant that I can't get on the power properly there because Antomic's had to back off, and we're going to again lose a little bit of time. So losing some time now with the battling that's going on. But yeah, at the moment, luckily not picking up any damage. And is Antomic's going to have a little look up the inside? He's not. He's just going to play it fairly safe there. And now into the braking zone. And now we've just got to try and concentrate on seeing if we can get past Mohammed. Mohammed seems like the car that's struggling the most out of anyone in this battle at the moment. We know that Antomic's was pretty good on tyres from the practice sessions we've done and the previous races as well. We knew his tyre wear was actually pretty damn good. So yeah, it's going to be very hard to stay with these. Avi also catching us up. Amenti catching us up with all this battling. And now it's just a case of keeping the gap away from Amenti. We've got and Avi as well, trying to make sure the gap stays around 3-4 tenths. As Amenti there goes for a nice move up the inside. Plenty of grip for Amenti there. You could see he was able to get the car up the inside. Has lost a little bit of time on the accelerator, but he's not really going to be in a position to go for a move now. We can see there Antomic's going for a move on Mohammed. He's gone for that up the inside. And now Mohammed is going to try and fight back on the straight. Is he going to try and get the move back now? Looks like he's just going to settle for that P8 as we go into the second corner. This really fast left-hand corner. Then into the tyre killer. This right-hand corner is one of the corners that was absolutely killing that front left-hand tyre. So as we go through here, though, you can see Antomic's up ahead. And he's took a bit of a tight line through there. Is he going to go for a move on Flame? It looks like he's right up behind him. Will he go for a send? It looks like he's going to work with him. I think what they're doing up there is play it smart, stay together, don't lose time now because we've lost a fair bit of time on the last 2 laps. But Mohammed definitely dropping back already. I could see that Mohammed was fading. His tyre on the front left clearly causing him problems. I'm going to go a little bit defensive just in case a Menti goes for a Sen there. And now into the braking zone, trying to make sure we hook up these corners, using third gear for the acceleration. But yeah, the tyre is starting to really struggle for grip out of these slow corners now. And we're just trying to get close enough to get in that slipstream. We need to be as close as we can to Mohammed because we know that he's struggling. I'm pretty sure at this stage that my tyres were going to be in better condition because I could see that he was really struggling to put the power down. So into the final corner, Mohammed runs a little bit wide there. Gets a reasonable exit though, so I'm going to go for a tight line here because I can see a Menti behind us and I saw what he did on the previous lap to the other car. So we took that tight line, defend that corner, and then get on the power and pick up the slipstream from Mohammed and then into the braking zone. So fast forward on the straight again and then into the braking zone. Is anyone going to go for a move here? And Tomic's not close enough to flame in front of us, but Mohammed at the moment is just about managing to stay in that slipstream and hang in there at the moment with his tyres, which were completely dying. I have to say, at this stage he hardly had anything left on the front left. It was nearly completely gone, and you can see we've still got a little bit of life left on that front left. But as we go through this corner, you can see Tomic's, I'm not sure what he was thinking there. He went to the right to have like almost to go for an overtake on the track, off the track, and he picks up half a second penalty. So a little bit frustrating there for Tomic's because he was really sitting in a good position there, and unfortunately that's going to put him under risk from an overtake from Mohammed as he's got dirty tyres. Now we see this developing here, and I'm thinking to myself, right, we've got the slipstream, I'll go to the left, let's make it clear that I'm not going to look up the inside, but then we're going to dart up the inside, brake as late as we can, slow the car down, and we do an absolutely lovely move up the inside there, putting ourselves up to P7. That was a really nice move, risked it, got the move done. Unfortunately though, 1.3 seconds behind P6. We're going to try our best to try and get in that slipstream, but also P6 has done a pretty good job on the tyres as well. So his pace also on the worn tyres seemed very, very strong. You see now we are starting to fade off from the leaders as well. 6.4 behind. We were about 4.8 at the start of the race, so we have lost a couple of seconds on these few laps now where that front left is starting to fade off. But we can see on in the mirror there, Mohammed really struggling on that corner there. It looks like his front left is almost completely dead, and as we skip to lap 15 you can see that a lot of cars have started to fade back there with the tyres, and Tomix has took his penalty, but we've now got a Menti right behind us with their much better tyres. You're going to see he's just got so much more grip in this right hand corner because he can just lean on that front left. We've just got no grip at all. We try and keep the power down. We have got the slipstream now, so it's going to be a drag race all the way up this straight, and I decided we're not going to pit this lap because we've obviously got a reasonably good first stint in. We're going to go for the risky strat where you stay out and do the 16 laps because most of the track will be dry when you do this strategy, and you're going to gain massively being on dry. Even though it's a worn tyre, you're going to be faster than fresh Inters because they just give more grip. So into turn one, we're going to just pretty much let a Menti take that because we can just see that he's got way more grip than us. So tuck him behind him and pick up the slipstream now for this lap and just try and hang on basically at this stage because we know that that rain is going to kick in on this lap. It's already started pretty much probably on the back end of the track, but at this point of the track it's not kicked in yet at this stage. So all the way through here, keeping it nice and smooth, and now into the left hand corner up here. This is where you're going to start seeing some moisture on the track on the telemetry. So just 1.5 laps to go, you're going to start seeing some rain kicking in there. You can see it on the radar then. There's no need to put the radar on in this race if you're wondering why we didn't have it on, because it was completely scripted, so we knew what was happening based on the previous races. So we know that the rain's going to be wet now into this braking zone. You're going to start seeing some moisture on the track as we go through here. You should start seeing, let's just see, no, it's actually dry, completely dry through here. It's the final corner where it kicked in, I think, because we had done such a good first stint. It didn't kick in till quite late on in the lap. So on previous races it was starting to get a little bit damp here. You can see a little bit of moisture now kicking in, but it's not enough to really cause you any sort of an issue. So there's still moisture, it's slowly building, but it's still good enough for dry tyres, plenty of grip still. However, the final corner, you can see the rain hitting the track. This is where we're going to lose grip. Traction control on just to try and make sure we keep the car in the position we need it to be in, staying on the dry line, and now accelerate up the main straight. You can see that Menti's grip, because he's got them better tyres, it's just giving him incredible amount of grip in these conditions. It's really helped him out, and he's managed to get himself ahead of Flame in front of us. So brilliant driving by Menti actually with the tyres. Amazing job that he's done in this race. And into the pits in P8, struggling, but at this stage it's looking good. We're going to put the intermediates on and just come out the pits and hopefully not be battling with anyone on the pit exit. And you can see here, as we come out the pits, we're still in P8, and we've got a nice gap to Antomix behind us. He's over 3 seconds. So I just left my TC on. I just decided we'll just leave the TC on for safety really here. Now, unfortunately, we skip on to the end of the lap because there was no chaos at all with the wet running. No one tried anything different. I think everyone has sussed this race out by this slot 3. And yeah, in previous races, there was a lot of chaos on that final lap on that last sector. But in this race, it was completely static. We stayed in P8 and we go over the line for a pretty decent P8. I've got to be honest, in this top split race, it is only 300 points, but it feels like better than that when you're in these lobbies and you're getting 300 from them. It actually feels better than some of the 340 points, 350 points we've got in other lobbies that are lower ranked. So pretty happy with that, especially in this FF car. Decent job, 300 points, and not bad at all. But yeah, if you enjoyed that race, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments how your races went. Hopefully you got some good results as well and had some fun with the weather at the end. Obviously, not all races happened with the weather, because if you're in GT2, you didn't get any weather from this. But obviously the GT1 races did. But yeah, we'll be back with more videos and live streams in the future. So see you all then. Bye, everyone.